Easily, one of the most difficult gadget buying decisions that you can make today in India is picking the right phone for you under rupees 40,000. Not just because there are so many options in this price category, but also because one discount season can, move your favorite phone to the under 30,000 or the under 50,000 category. Therefore, I've tried to make it easier for you and picked out 6 phones that I think are the best phones under rupees 40,000. And for this video, I'm going back to my previous format where I will be listing out these phones in my ascending order of preference from number 6 to number 1. I know this list is bound to get controversial, but that's what I love about my job. I'm Arshad, you're watching Track It Tech English. Let's begin. So phone number 6 in my list is the Nothing Phone 1. Now this phone obviously needs no introduction, and let me list out its pros first. And the very first thing that sort of stands out on the Nothing Phone 1 is of course its design, its industrial design, which is definitely very unique with the glyph lighting pattern on the rear and the transparent back. Now this is something that could be attractive to a lot of people, but I mentioned in my 1-month review that it does get boring very soon. Now apart from that, this is one of the very few phones in this price list that comes with wireless charging. Now the other good thing about the Nothing Phone 1 is the practical camera setup where you get a 15 megapixel primary and a 15 megapixel ultra wide, which also doubles up as a macro camera. And the kind of pictures that you can get with it are pretty good for a phone that's been made for the very first time by a very new company. The display is also very smooth with Super AMOLED and 120Hz refresh rate, and couple that with near stock Android experience, you get extremely clean, smooth, fast and fluid performance from the phone when it works well. And of course, since I alluded to the fact that it's near stock Android experience, you get absolutely bloatware free experience too. And a couple of reasons why I think a lot of folks will actually prefer the Nothing Phone 1 is because Carl Pei is of course a known name in the industry, and he's also sort of a hype beast and buys into that culture obviously, and that's why the Ear 1 and the Phone 1 also went into something like StockX for the first 100 units. But it's not like the phone doesn't have problems. One of the problems is the fact that it's got low brightness in daily usage. It's not as good as the other phones in this list. And apart from that, the software experience can sometimes be buggy if a bad update comes out. The 1.1.2 update was definitely proof of that fact. A video should pop up right now. I've already made one around it. Also, there's a lot of quality control issues with the hardware itself because it takes a lot of effort to make a phone that includes 900 LED lights, and therefore there seems to be some issues with that as well. And the Nothing Phone 1 is the most underpowered phone in this list with the Snapdragon 778G Plus processor. So who should buy it? I can only think of one category of people, the hype beasts ones that are early adopters and who want to stay ahead of the curve and who buy into Carl Pei's vision. They should go for the Nothing Phone 1. Everyone else should exercise caution and probably stay away at the moment. Now before we move ahead, if you like the kind of content that we make, don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. So the number 5 phone in my list is the iQOO 9. Now the iQOO 9 would have been higher in my list only if it had gotten performance right and the battery life better as well. Unfortunately it doesn't, but it's still a great premium phone for anybody who wants a good camera experience. We've got a 48 megapixel primary, you've got a 13 megapixel telephoto 2x and a 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And that 48 megapixel primary camera has a gimbal optimized lens as well. And that means you should expect great camera performance, and it does definitely deliver. That's not it. It's also very compact, it's got a good display quality, and the phone also supports 120 watt fast charging speeds. But there are problems with the iQOO 9. No phone is perfect, and the biggest problem with the iQOO 9 is the fact that 888 Plus throttles a lot and gets hot as well. I actually expected it to be better tuned than 888, but it's not really. Also, the battery life could have been better. It's not bad, but it could have been better considering the other phones in this list. And FunTouch OS is not the most refined premium software experience out there. So who should buy the iQOO 9? Somebody who wants a compact phone but with great cameras, because great cameras matters a lot in this price category, and that is delivered by the iQOO 9. Also, it feels very premium. And performance, again, while it does throttle and gets hot, you don't push it and the performance should be good. So the 4th phone in my list is the Realme GT Neo 3. Now the GT Neo 3 has a very powerful MediaTek Dimensity 8100 system on chip. It is one of my favorite SoCs that has come out this year. It's got great performance and in many situations it was beating the Snapdragon 888 as well. The other good thing about the Dimensity 8100 and the GT Neo 3 is that it offers great battery life. I had a very good experience with the phone when I tested it. Now talking about battery, you also get battery charging speeds of 80 watt and you can have a variant with 150 watt charging speeds as well. That's the fastest in the market right now. The display is good, it's a Full HD Plus 120Hz AMOLED panel and the haptic feedback is very well tuned as well. Now there are two specific problems with the Realme GT Neo 3 is that it is filled with bloatware apps and Realme only promises 2 years of software updates. In general, all the phones in this list at least offer 3 years of software updates, so 2 years is too low. And the camera performance on the GT Neo 3 is not that great. It's not the best in this list, that's for sure. So who should consider the Realme GT Neo 3? Anybody who wants a nice flat display and a good performance for gaming. I know that the OnePlus 10R is also an alternative and it's been flying off the shelves, but honestly, I prefer the GT Neo 3 because and only because, the camera performance is better than the OnePlus 10R. So the third phone in my list is the OnePlus 9. So the OnePlus 9 was launched around 50,000 rupees if I'm not mistaken, but now it's available for about 39,000 rupees. And for that price, I think it's an even better buy than, the very popular OnePlus 9 RT as well. And the main reason for it is that you get a very high resolution primary and an ultra wide angle camera along with Hasselblad's tuning as well. When I tested it back in the day, the OnePlus 9's, primary camera performance in daylight was almost as good as the OnePlus 9 Pro. So that's the kind of picture quality that they can get with the OnePlus 9. And one main reason why I'm recommending the OnePlus 9 is because it's got the alert slider. That's a huge feature, guys. And it goes without saying that it's got clean software. And when I tested it, it had better thermal performance compared to the OnePlus 9 Pro, which is definitely a good thing for a phone with Snapdragon 888 processor because Snapdragon 888 is notorious for being very bad with thermal efficiency. There are cons though. Obviously there are cons. It's got a plastic frame and that kind of feels cheap. And the update cycle has generally not been that great with OnePlus phones compared to something like Samsung. But one of the concerns for the OnePlus 9 is that it's got support for only 2 bands, that is the N41 and the N78 5G bands. Now, I'm not talking about the 5G bands on the other phones in this list primarily because all of them come with at least 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and sometimes even 13 5G bands, but this one has only 2. Fundamentally, it should be okay because it covers most of the frequency spectrum that has been allocated in India, but then again, you don't have the entire spectrum if you have to take it out of the country, then that will be an issue for sure. Now, who should buy this? Even if you're a OnePlus fan or not, I think that this is one of the better OnePlus deals at the moment, primarily because the OnePlus 9RT is more expensive. I have not seen it go below the price of 40,000 at the moment. Maybe when it does, maybe the OnePlus 9RT then becomes a good deal. And the cheaper OnePlus 10R just feels a whole lot cheaper, especially with the build quality and everything. I think that the OnePlus 9 is in that sweet spot. Now, before I tell you guys what is the number 2 phone in my list, I want you guys to guess my number 1 pick. Don't cheat, don't go ahead. Honestly, just comment below and see if you can get it right. So the number 2 phone in my list is the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Now, I know that a lot of folks mentioned that the S20 FE should have been in our under 30,000 category, but that's only when you get discounts with it, like I mentioned in the intro. So we are, choosing phones at their available price and not at the discounted price. There are many reasons why you should consider the S20 FE even today, a couple of which include the fact that you get IP68 rating, not available on any phone in this list, and wireless charging as well. Apart from that, you also get an SD card slot, again not available on any phone in this list of mine. And it goes without saying, it's a Samsung phone, the camera setup is very good. You get a proper 3x telephoto and you get 4K 60 FPS video recording from all the cameras as well that is available on the phone. The camera performance is top notch. You get great pictures with the S20 FE. That's something that you don't have to worry about at all. And Samsung has been updating the phone regularly. It has offered good software update promise and it's been living up to it as well. Plus, it's a Samsung phone and it's an AMOLED panel with 120Hz refresh rate. It's really good. But there are a couple of problems. It's slightly old right now. That's one of the things that you need to consider. And apart from that, it's got Snapdragon 865, which is not the most best performing chip in this price category. So who should buy this phone? Fans of Samsung and those folks who don't want to miss out on a good deal, because many a times Sometimes this phone is available for under 30,000 as well, especially if you club in the discounts. So yeah, so if you can and have the card for it, then you should definitely consider the S20 FE. It is a great phone even today. Alright, product numero uno in the best phones under rupees 40,000 is the Xiaomi 11T Pro. The main reason why the Xiaomi 11T Pro is number one in my list is because of the great multimedia experience that you can expect from it. Of course, all these phones have great displays, no doubt, but the Xiaomi 11T Pro goes one step forward and gives you support for Dolby Vision in Netflix. And more importantly, you get a set of stereo speakers that are tuned by Harman Kardon and they sound absolutely divine. And generally with Xiaomi phones, you also get support for high-res audio. So if you are connecting a DAC with it, you can expect great audio quality through wired earphones. The camera performance is also decent on the Xiaomi 11T Pro, and you get support for 120 watt fast charging speeds as well, which is fantastically fast. And for the Snapdragon 888 phone, during my testing period, I noticed that the Xiaomi 11T Pro actually offers great battery life. That's definitely a huge advantage. Now, there's one problem with the Xiaomi 11T Pro is that I'm not so sure about the update situation on this. It's already got Android 12, but generally Xiaomi has not been great with updates on their phones. Hopefully they can pick up their game, and they're more into MIUI updates than Android version updates. So if you're someone who cares about that, then that could be an issue for you. So the 11T Pro is the most well-rounded flagship experience out there, and it's one of the most balanced phones for most people. Now, before I end this video, I want to mention there's one phone, the Moto Edge 30, that's generally available at around 43,000 rupees. So if you're spending 40,000 rupees and if you can spend 3,000 more, and sometimes if you have a specific card, you can also get a discount of about 1,500 rupees. So it brings it out to 41,500. Just 1,500 more will get you Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 stock Android, a great display with 144 Hz refresh rate, the best battery life on a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 phone. The Moto Edge 30 Pro is a fantastic option to consider as well. Since it wasn't coming under 40,000, I excluded off the list, but if you can actually spend that much more, it is definitely a fantastic buy. The only problem with the Moto Edge 30 is that the camera performance is pretty average. It's not that great. So that was my list of the best phones under rupees 40,000. I hope you guys found it useful. I definitely had a lot of fun, zeroing down on the right options for you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you think otherwise, because I'd love to have that discussion with you. Until next time, this is Airshad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.